message from, I know who this is, Suzanne Castle. Oh my gosh, you guys, she's awesome if you don't know her. And we connected. She used to work at Disney as well. So, you know my story. I worked at Disney for a while, and so did this lady. She's amazing. She's a minister. And here it is, Suzanne Castle. Joe, thank you so much for sharing this today.
I'm Suzanne Castle, creator and founder of the Sparkle Factor. And what is the heart of leadership? Well, I truly believe that the heart of leadership is about love. When you lead with love, you don't have time for regrets or jealousy. You don't have time to second guess, because when you're leading with love, you always want the best for the other person or the other entity in the ways that you're serving. And when you lead with love, you have the same compassion for yourself. So you make a mistake, you get up and you move on. You're feeling stuck? You don't have time for that. There's always another way. Stuck is absolutely never the solution. And when you have a heart for love first, that shines from the inside to the outside. So when you lead, and you lead without worrying about, am I the top dog here? What am I getting out of this here? Do I get the contract signed or not? You're saying that I care more about the relationship and the person on the other side of me than about all of those other things that the world says is most important. And when you lead with love, you'll find your heart grows bigger, as does the heart of those that you serve. That is the heart of leadership.
Our next everyday leader is LaChelle Adkins, also known as America's Supermom. Why this title? Because she's a mother of 15 children. LaChelle has created a movement to empower women to overcome stress, depression, and limiting beliefs. LaChelle feels grateful for her challenges because it's allowed her to serve and add value in the lives of others. Her experiences have helped her to be focused, empathetic, and comfortable being herself without seeking validation from others. Let's give a warm welcome to my friend and everyday leader, LaChelle Adkins. Woo! LaChelle is in the house. I'm so excited. Girl.
I love it. Can you hear me?
Yes, you are perfect. And I know Joe's moving your... Hey, there you go. We don't have to restart you.
Awesome. Okay. Look, I had enough yesterday, but I love it. That's all about being live. I feel like I'm at home. Okay?
Oh my gosh. This is awesome. You guys, do you know this lady, America's Supermom? She has 15 kids at her house. Oh my goodness. Now think about that with COVID. You know, you can't get away from people. You are stuck. And she's got an amazing story. She's another Hoosier. Here she goes. She's another Hoosier. So I didn't even realize that right when I started putting this together yet. I love the thread that we all have. We're going to have live coffee together someday.
Absolutely.
One thing, it's really funny, right? You know, people on social media. So I have to tell this story. I told this Emma Westlake, if you're still on here and you're watching this, I know you're going to get a chuckle out of this because I told this at the women's group the other morning. But LaChelle came into town. And so I said, hey, let's meet at this coffee shop. And so she's there and I walk in and I was like, where's LaChelle? Where's LaChelle? LaChelle's about this tall. You don't get the perspective when you're online. Knowing people on social media is totally different than when you're in the same room. Do you remember that? No. I loved it. You are amazing. You teach, you have done so much. You're an author. LaChelle, you're going to talk to us about forgiveness today.
Yes.
And so we go right from love, transitioning into forgiveness, because this is one of the things that I struggled with. And I know, hey, Mom, I know you're on here. So the things in your life that you hold against other people and you think they have caused you to not have the success that you need in your life. And once you open your heart, once you learn how to process this, and I've done it myself, right? And opening your heart and saying, hey, learning that other, environment, maybe they didn't have the capacity. Maybe that wasn't the right environment at the right time. You have to, as a leader, understand how to grow in perspective. And so I love, we always talk about this, LaChelle. So I really wanted you to speak into forgiveness, what we need to do as leaders to understand how to open our hearts.
Yeah. Well, I think it's a great topic, and I am just loving all the conversations that we have been listening to, because it is such as people being in similar places, but the thread has been so much similar. So I don't have any heart rocks, but I do have a rock that says inspire. And one of my daughters got me this. So I just thought, now, isn't that profound? I found this right before I started speaking today. But I think when it comes to forgiveness, we hear all the time how we need to forgive other people. We need to move on. We need to let go, not hold grudges. It really is better for us than it is for them. But for me in my journey, the first I had to forgive is myself. I had to forgive myself for my past and the decisions that I made. A lot of times when we go through trials and tribulations, the easiest thing is to blame it on circumstances, other people, really kind of looking outward as to why it's not working for you and you being the victim. So when you come from really having a new perspective and understanding from a place of gratitude that you have the opportunity to change that narrative, to reframe it in a way that allows you the positivity to move forward in learning the lessons that you learn through the disappointments, the heartaches, because everybody has them. I love what David said. David is dealing with COVID. I went through that through a summit that I had to speak on. I had COVID as well. And everybody has a story. Everybody has an obstacle, but are you going to allow that obstacle to stop you? And oftentimes, although we blame it on outward things, the obstacle is really ourselves. So we have to learn how to forgive ourselves, how to look at it from a stance that we didn't know what we didn't know. But now that we do know, how are we going to look to reframe it? Just as what we're doing with this leadership summit. Look at where you are. I love what Gary said in terms of knowing where you are, your current situation, so that you can move forward with the destination going on the right road to where you're headed. So that is a couple of key points that I wanted to bring up.
Yes, it's so important. Here, I was looking at my monitor going, okay, LaChelle always says, where's your everyday leaders mug? So, okay, I'll put it right there for you.
I love it because I'm over here looking at the books. I'm like, what book is that? Because I'm a bookaholic. Okay.
Oh my.
So
let me tell you.
I'm trying to see the titles.
Yes.
But I think I've read all those you have over there.
Yes. Well, 15 Laws of Growth. Everyone communicates if you connect. Start with why, find your why, and the Leadership Bible. Those are all my go-tos. So those are my big ones. And those actually have helped me with forgiveness and growth and understanding purpose. Every single person has talked about purpose. And so I think sometimes though we get it wrong, right? We think purpose is something that somebody has told us, oh, you would be good at doing that instead of an activity. It's really what your heart is pulling you towards. And so, your 15 kids, they're not all the same.
Not at all. I don't have twins, and they're not the same. We have 9 girls and 6 boys, and we really have to learn how to listen to our voice. And I was raised as a high achiever, high performer all through my academic career, graduated from IU. Hey, those Hoosiers. But I just want to say that, we really foster a lot of our habits around following somebody else's roadmap. What it takes to get into Kelley School of Business, which I graduated from, and what it takes to be on honor roll and all these different things. But we want to make sure that we know what our own inner compass is. And that's the thing that gets drowned out with being a victim, not having forgiveness. All these things kind of keep it cloudy, and we get out of alignment out of what our purpose is. And so for me, I think, one of the things I wanted to talk about is having your own personal GPS. When we're talking about direction, leadership, guidance, you have to have a GPS system. And so for me, I love acronyms. So I just love how Gary started out with the champ acronym because I mean, that's just my thing. The first thing is gratitude, recognizing that you do have a second chance of understanding what your problems were and how you can move forward in a positive way. You can change that direction.
Okay.
The next thing is practicing. You have to take action on the things that you want to do, right? So when it comes to deciding that, hey, I want to be a public speaker, you have to get on a stage and speak, whether you're on a small stage, a classroom, in your home, get comfortable using your voice. And then the last element is smiling. I love talking about mental wellness because I struggled with that in the past myself. And so it's so important to have a daily check-in. And for me, that's a smile, which is another acronym for sleep, mood, inner voice, laughter, and energy. So make sure that you have your GPS set.
And if you have your journal, right? If you have your journal, if you have your workbook, there is a journey GPS because Bonnie created this for me. She said, I hear you, I hear your voice, I hear your heart, I hear these leaders. And so it's in there. And so we're going to take you on this journey. And so it's so true, right? What you say is if you don't know where you're going, and how many people have said this today, if you can't see the end, you have no idea how to start. And yeah, maybe you're going to get off track a little bit. But if you know what the end result is, what that looks like, then you know that you're going to eventually get there. And you have to have grace, right? And forgiving yourself for making maybe decisions that you thought were tough, but that would actually help you grow. Because, gosh, I think about this all the time. If we wouldn't have done one thing or said yes to a connection, we wouldn't know each other. And we have done so many projects together. And yet, if we said, I don't have time for that, that's not on my agenda today, it's not on my list, I can't really squeeze that in, we would not have been able to then serve each other and each other's people, that really have helped each other. Jonathan Howard is one of those people, right?
Well, and to be honest, and going back, it all started from a Facebook Live because that was my journey where I was like, oh, I don't want to get on live by myself. What am I going to talk about? And I reached out to you. We were connected on Facebook and LinkedIn, and the rest is history.
The rest is history. The rest is history. And so I want to encourage people, right? Today, if you are struggling with this or feeling like you're not enough, loving yourself is sometimes just that, feeling like you're not worthy of whatever it is that you see I could have. And here, 15 laws of growth. I could open this book all day long and talk about the growth gaps. And we do a lot of the times because it is so important. If you feel like you're comparing yourself to someone else, and let's go to LaChelle Adkins' household, 15 kids, one thinks that they've got to compete with the other one just because, right? Oh, you have knowledge of this school. And so we have to
we have dishes in the sink like everybody.
Yes. We got to learn though, right? We've got to learn to let that stuff go because we take that with us. Like Nadine said, we take that stuff with us from what we learned when we grew up. And so here we are at the holidays. We talk about this all the time in my Bible study every morning. When you go back to Thanksgiving and you go to that house, you're the same person that you were when you were there. It doesn't matter what you did. It doesn't matter if you're president of the United States, you become the same person that you were when you lived in that house. So you have to kind of let all of that perspective, right? And I think that's the key, is getting this perspective right. And so true. And I think you bring up some great points because, when you learn to forgive yourself, that's the basis of letting go of judgment, letting go of that ego. And several of the speakers before me talked about that ego, how it can get you in trouble. But when you learn to humble yourself and really recognize, I don't know what I didn't know, and have that awareness and be graceful to yourself,
that is the basis for you to share that with other people. You could be that to other people. My conversations have done a 180 as a result of me forgiving myself, because it used to come from a lens of, okay, my way is the right way, or let me help them. They need help and I know how to do this, and proving everything I want to prove to somebody. But now it's about, what can they bring to me as well? What am I going to learn from them? They're here to teach me something. And that attitude of curiosity, asking questions, being engaging is a lot better place to be in. I feel, my life is just totally turned around. And the relationships that I have are a lot more meaningful and significant as a result of recognizing that, everybody has an issue. I may be good at speaking, but I definitely can't sing. Okay.
But your daughter
I can admit the things right. I can admit the things that I don't do well. I can do like Gary said, eliminate, automate, delegate. I got that down. Okay.
Absolutely. This is awesome. LaChelle, you're just a wealth of knowledge. And here you're only 50. Here you go. You're only 50 and
a week before my birthday.
That's right.
Next week I'll be 51.
That's right. And so think about that. If you're reaching that pinnacle age and thinking, what do you want to do? How do you show up? What's changing in your life? Everybody's life has changed through COVID. Everybody's. And if it hasn't, you're lying.
So true. And I think really just taking that time to really catalog your life. What are some things that you're good at? Oftentimes, we kind of think what an author looks like to you. You might be thinking, oh, I'm not Stephen King. Well, Stephen King started out, with one word on the piece of paper, just like you will writing your book. So don't compare yourself to someone who has continued to master their gift. Just get started, whether it's a book, a blog, a podcast. I tell everybody what I do, and I try not to say it all the time, but it's like, I'm exhausted saying everything I'm a part of, but it's all about collaborating. I'm able to really know my gift and my message. And so I can share it on different platforms and in different collaborations, and not have to have the credit for it. That's why I'm able to do all the things that I do, because I'm not concerned about, oh, this is LaChelle's program or America's Supermom. It's not about that. It's about being able to contribute, and you can have a greater impact if you have more people on your team rather than you doing it by yourself.
Amen, sister. Gosh. Okay. There's a poll in the chat. I want every single one of you on this line right now. There are 3 questions, and LaChelle has designed these especially for you because she knows what she's talking about. 15 kids, like she gets it. So are you struggling with forgiveness in your life right now? That's the first question. And so it could be with someone in your past. It could be with someone in your current life, or it could be with yourself. Right. So let us know, what is that specifically? And then question 2 is not being able to forgive yourself or that person holding you back? Does that hold you back? Do you think it's holding you back? The answer is yes. I'll just give you that. That one's a go. It is holding you back. And then if you're searching for clarity on how to forgive, right? This is what we are all here to help you with. If you are searching for clarity, because we know that once you get past that step, that clarity comes, and that gives you the courage to then be committed, like John said, and be that leader that that you're responsible for being in the world, and you know how to do it better. Without forgiveness, you just can't even start. So
true.
Yeah.
And I love the whole thing of really having that awareness, because when you do that, you eliminate the excuses. You have to get honest with yourself. It's that get in the mirror moment of really looking and being honest about, what am I going to hold myself back?
Yep.
Once you admit that, you have all that you need to move forward, and to move forward with realistic expectations. You're not going to be starting at step 100 when you're just getting on your journey of whatever that looks like, whether it's public speaking or being a chef or, reinventing your career, starting as an entrepreneur. Everybody has to start at the first step.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't matter how successful they are. So don't just jump past that entry level position, because there's so much richness in learning more about your craft that's important when it comes to mastery.
Girlfriend, I love you. This has been awesome. I so appreciate you. You guys, if you have the VIP booklet, there are some links. There is a YouTube link that LaChelle has, America's Supermom. Also, she has her Calendly link. So if there's something you want to talk about, she is connected to everybody in the world. I'll just tell you.
I'm waiting on Oprah. Okay.
So
it's going to happen in 2022.
If you have something that you just like, oh, she's into this virtual thing too. So
comic book.
Comic book. You guys, it's amazing. So follow LaChelle Adkins if you have not connected to her. Join us in the VIP room. Get the VIP booklet if you can do that. Anza's got all the stuff in the chat here. You can just go there right now and get those and download those. And so you can follow the leader in life about forgiveness. It will change your life. It will change your life. So thank you so much, LaChelle, for joining us today. We just appreciate you, and we love you. We thank you for your time, and have an awesome Sunday afternoon.
Well, I love you too. And I'm looking forward to being in the Zoom room. And thanks for the opportunity. It's always a good opportunity to be able to share with other people. So thank you for having me.
Absolutely. You're welcome. We'll see you later. We'll see you in the Zoom room.
I'll be in Zoom.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
All right. Oh, isn't she awesome? I love LaChelle. Can you believe 15 kids? That is just crazy. Oh, would you have 15 kids if you could?